how do we handle late rent payments? Number one, you set a clear deadline, okay? It is confusing to people to say rent is due on the 1st, but it's not late until the 5th. Well, then what you should just say is rent is due on the 5th. Rent for us is not due on the 1st. Rent is not due on the 5th. Rent for us is due the last business day before the 1st of the month. Okay. So if the 1st falls on a Thursday, rent is due on Wednesday. It's due the last business day before the 1st of the month, and is something that is an absolute non-negotiable. Well, you say, well, what happens if the 1st is on a Sunday? Okay, well, then it's due the Friday before. Why? Last business day before the 1st of the month. Effectively, what I'm doing is training my tenants to pay their rent early. Why do I want for them to pay their rent early? A couple of reasons. I want to be able to service whatever maintenance repair issue that they have. I also want to be able to distribute back to my investors a full distribution and not have to be hoping that money comes in order to make this distribution, and now I'm floating some stuff. No, I basically run it like an escrow company. I'm taking money in, holding it until the month has passed, and then making distributions of all of the, once I've calculated all the expenses outside of the rent costs. And so how do I handle late fees? If they're late, you start the eviction process. Brad, what do you mean? I mean, if someone is late, you start the process right there, right then. You almost have to treat tenants like toddlers. For those of you who have raised kids, you know, or should know, if you let that little guy, as cute as he is, get away with whatever he wants when he's little, he is going to be uncontrollable when he's older. You've seen those kids. You've seen that play out. But if you are strict when they're little, if you set the boundaries and then hold to those boundaries, you're going to see that person understand where the boundaries are in life in general. And they're typically going to be a better person down the line, so long as the boundaries are not overly restrictive. And this is, in this case, rent payments. It's due the last business day before the 1st of the month. And I get feedback from my tenants saying, wait a second, I get paid on every 2 weeks. Oh, I get paid on the 1st. I get paid on the 1st and the 15th. Great. You should pay your rent with that 15th, with the check that you get on the 15th. You should be able to manage your money. This is part of the reason why we put all of our tenant buyers through Financial Peace University, in order to teach them how to manage money correctly, how to, work inside of a budget. I call it a spending plan, but how to make it so that they are controlling their money, not the other way around. If rent is due on the 1st for you, we start the eviction process on the 2nd. And I am not kidding you when I say rent is due the last business day before the 1st of the month. The 1st can fall on a Saturday, or even worse, a Monday. That's a holiday. That's not a business day. On Friday, it's due. On Saturday, we are posting notices, which is the first step in the eviction process. So number one, set a really clear rent day due, and then stick to it. Stick to that. Don't waver. Make sure that you understand rent is due that day, and there is no such thing as a grace period. It makes no sense to treat grown adults that way. Frankly, it's because of this nonsense related to, pay on the 1st, but not late until the 5th. You don't get a late fee until the 5th. That has created adult adolescents, adult children who don't know how to manage their money and be responsible with it. I refuse to participate in that. You can if you'd like, but let me tell you what's going to happen. Then they're going to be, it's going to be the 5th, and then they're going to be late on the 5th, and then they're going to ask to have the late fees removed, and then they're going to not pay until the 17th, and then eventually it's going to be the next month, and then you're going to be benevolent. No. Set the standard. The standard is the standard. The rules are the rules. And you, as the real estate investor, get to set those standards. You get to make the rules. You get to be the one who says, this is how we're going to do it, and no other way. I just decided rent is due the last business day before the 1st of the month. If you don't pay by then, we start the eviction process. That's how we handle late rents, by starting that eviction process right away, by posting that notice. Now, what is on this notice? This notice is a big red piece of paper. that says rent is due, you're owed, rent hasn't been paid, you owe this much plus the late fee, the total amount to stay in this property is this. Within 3 days, we're going to be processing we're going to be hiring an attorney to, record this and report this to the county so that we start the eviction process in court. Hey, thanks for watching. I've got a free gift for you. So follow this QR code, click this link, and get your free gift now.